I want to start by asking you to tell us a little about GWS Environmental Contractors and how did you get started in construction?
This is something that kind of fell into my lap, but after many, many years, I grew up in the business. It was my family-owned business. My father had started the business back in the mid-70s. He had several other contracting business with other partners, and he went out on his own. After going to school, after going to college, studying legal, I always worked in law firms, became a paralegal, and fast forward to the early 90s when I started a family. My parents were looking to retire, and they had always run the business out of their house. And sometime around the 80s, they got involved in environmental. A lot of that knowledge that I was able to apply from being in the legal field was very helpful. So they offered first to me to see if I was interested in, really delving into the business and learning it. And after long discussions with my husband, we decided to do it. He came on a couple of years after I did. He was in the insurance industry, which also helped too with a lot of our type of work. My background in construction was basically knowing it just from living it. My parents always had the business out of their house. I always went to job sites. It was my summer jobs. So, basically I was, cleaning up at job sites. Back then it was more construction, which now we really don't do any of that. And we're all environmental. And then in 2000 and I can't remember, it was 16, Eric and I started a drilling business. So learned a lot about drilling. We hired on a driller. So we have another sister company that does environmental drilling.
Being a woman in construction is unique in some regards. There's definitely more of us, and there have been trade associations that advocate for us and help us along, but it's definitely unique. So can you talk more about, the challenges of being a woman in construction and the people challenges that you just talked about?
Sure, of course. And you're right. These the organizations that are out there now are very favorable to women. There's a lot of that's how we know you guys, but they didn't have that. Always didn't. They did, and I didn't even realize it was a thing until I started learning and talking to other women about. I just always assumed that, well, this is what I do, and I'm probably the only one with these problems. And especially being an owner of a business, people are like, oh, and I answer the phones, I'm answering the phones. Well, let me talk to your boss. Well, what do you need to know? I can help you. And that took years for me to even be able to put myself forward as a business owner and a knowledgeable business owner. And believe me, there's lots of stuff that I don't know. I don't know, the intricacies of the actual field work. I know what we do, but you have to be able to rely on other people and not try to take everything over yourself, which is what I used to do. I used to have to, I need to know this, I need to know everything, And then through the years, I got to the point where it's like, okay, I can rely on other people. And many times those people are men. As far as dealing with men in the business and versus women, always a little bit of a changing your tone when you speak to people, but I've always found that as long as you're respectful to other people, they're respectful to you. I've never had any issues with somebody just because they're a man or a woman. I just feel that it was my duty to put myself forward as with confidence. And that's a big thing. As a woman, I feel that I've always had less confidence in trying to get into this type of a business, and you have to learn it. And I'm a shy person, so it wasn't that easy for me. But I would say, and anyone who's trying to do that, that's what you need to overcome. Put yourself out there and trust yourself that you have the knowledge that you can speak to people about your business. And if you can't, there's always somebody else who you can fall on, and that doesn't make you less. You have to rely on somebody else.
I can't agree more. Confidence is sometimes adapted, and
Yes.
it's an adaptive strength. And I think that absolutely helps women overcome challenges in the workplace, especially in a male-dominated places, is confidence in their role and their position, respect, and seeking help when you need it. Just because you don't have an answer doesn't mean you're less. Mm-hmm. It just means you know where to go and get expert help. So I couldn't agree with you more about those qualities as a woman and as a business owner to thrive in a male-dominated industry. So we talked about some of the challenges. I wanted to switch gears a little bit and see, from your perspective, what are the benefits of being a woman in construction and being a woman business owner?
Once you have that, you're following and you the people that you deal with, I enjoy dealing with people, men and women, and it's engaging. I don't know that other than, being a women-owned business, and sometimes we get, special perks, but it's enjoyable. I like dealing with, different types of people, and customers sometimes can be very difficult. And I feel like being a woman, I can always be more sympathetic to them and kind of sometimes talk them off the ledge, maybe a little better than maybe a man would, because they might just be like, oh, forget it, they're crazy, and but I just feel women have just that little more of compassion. and when it comes to dealing with customers, I think that isn't a little bit of an advantage.
I would agree. We definitely communicate a little bit differently than men do, and in certain situations.
Yeah, not to complain about them.
Certain situations, it definitely is helpful to come into a conversation with a little bit different, perspective. So one final question for you: what advice would you give to your younger self entering construction all over again?
Again, it goes back to the putting yourself forward and having and developing the confidence to know your business and be able to talk to people about it with confidence and without being scared that you might not know something. That's really, I don't know, to me, that's a major part of it. You can have the knowledge, take classes, have the knowledge, and, to my younger self, yes, I feel like I should have learned more instead of being, into it and then having to figure things out. But most people who are going into this, they're in their college years, or they're, a little older, or even, high school going into college, and they, have I have several friends whose girls are, 3 friends actually right now, whose girls want to go into engineering. To me, that's amazing. Like, I would have never considered that. So I think someone, wanting to get into this industry, or any industry that's male dominated, do it, because you do it, because you can do it. And I would have never considered it because, for men, so I wouldn't have thought to do that. But that was the 80s too, so we thought a lot differently then.
So to your younger self, I guess the story is knowledge is power, right? The old
Yes,
saying,
absolutely.
knowledge is power.
100%.
And with
learn
knowledge,
it and be confident knowing it.
right, comes confidence. And when you're confident, you can do anything. So Bridget, I want to thank you for these few minutes here talking about GWS and your role as a woman business owner during our Women's History Month.
And thank you. It was a great honor.
Thank you. We appreciate your time, and best of luck to GWS Contractors and BE Environmental.
Thank you.